Rita Kakati-Shah, your host for the Uma Show. Welcome to your one-stop journey for feeling empowered. We're a platform for change. We build confidence. We are your voice. We want you to be bold, be you, be Uma. Today, we're exploring women in fashion, and I'm so excited to be joined by a goddess of go-getting, Bhuyan, who is joining us from Toronto in Canada, and she's an entrepreneur and a creative director of Bhuyan Couture. Welcome, Tara. Thank you for joining us today.
Namaskar, Rita. Thank you. Thank you, Uma. Thank you, Rita, for having me here today. I'm very, very honored to be part of this interview, and I hope it's a very casual chat, and just looking forward.
Absolutely. And namaskar to you too, Tara. So, as a little bit of a giveaway in the intro, you are also Assamese. You're born and bred. Talk to us a little bit about your upbringing and your education.
Yes, I'm born and brought up in Guwahati. That's a city in Assam, which is in the northeastern part of India, and we are very well known for Assam tea that we drink all over the world, and our silks. These are the two most popular, and I grew up in a family who is very, very creative, starting from my grandmom. So I've been groomed that way into these weaves. So I did my schooling in Guwahati and my higher studies in Mumbai. I finished my master's in quantitative economics. Yes, I was a model in between for a very short period of time when I was 16 and 17. But being in from an academic background family and a creative background family, I had to pursue my education, and then ended up in a job in investment banking.
So how did you end up in Toronto?
Toronto, I was headhunted for my job, and I don't want to disclose the company name as yet, but it's one of the leading banking sector. It's a leading bank in North America, I would say, one of the most leading bank in North America. And I'm very proud to be part of that organization for many years. After having a successful journey in banking, somewhere in 2014, my destiny has changed.
So you mentioned your destiny has changed. Talk to us a little bit about that. You are now obviously a renowned fashion designer. So talk to us about this destiny change of yours and where this fashion journey started.
It started when I was very young. I used to look in the mirror and I wanted to look like my grandmom, who was very, very, very beautiful woman. And she was the one who started with women empowerment back in those days in 1945, 1946. And she was personally requested by Mahatma Gandhi when he visited Assam, especially Sibsagar. My mom's home is from Sibsagar, which is the upper part of Assam in India, in India. And she started with the help of Mahatma Gandhi to actually employ women weavers, and started with our weaving. And she weaved most of her clothes by herself, like everybody else has done. But she has done designs which are incredible, and so those were always there. It trickled down to the next generation, which is my mom, who never let us wear any outside clothes. She designed every piece of that our garments until we started complaining at 13. Yes, but she did those, one of the fantastic, and there was no computers, no WhatsApp, no nothing, no big magazines around in India, and especially Assam. But that creativity, I have seen her, I've helped her in cutting, patterning, stitching. So, and then one of my aunts has started with women empowerment, women weaving. It's still going on back in Assam. So those, I think, groomed me up. And I saw within my family that we all always have to dress very, very smartly, very, very nicely every day for ourselves. Yeah. So this was inside me. I didn't have to get it from anywhere else. My father always, I go back to my father, what he said is always dress for yourself and always dress smartly and nicely. And this, till now, I always do that. I try to follow it, every bit of it. Like, it's so important. And this has carried me a long way. And yes, as a fashion 2016, 17, because I was not allowed too much into ramp modeling, forget
Mm.
photo modeling. I did help a lot of choreography with a very international designer, now very famous, and we worked together actually in a lot of projects now, Rita.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah, we. So I used to be helping her in styling and whatever I could outside in the background. But that passion led to somebody calling me in 2014, requesting me from a Bihu program in Toronto from Hong Kong, Canada.
Wow.
They requested me to do a fashion show in 2014, and I just started in a very small group among the
Mm.
ethnic groups in Toronto. It became a very I didn't even realize that it became so beautiful. That whole little thing turned out to be carried away to New Jersey, some convention in North America.
Mm.
Then so if I never wanted to be on limelight, so I never put any of those pictures anywhere in YouTube, Facebook, nowhere. So, but it had to, for destiny, as it say, went on to the hands of the right people at the right time. So, yeah, Lisa Verma, I have to mention her name, who is right now also the mentor, and that time also the mentor and guide. Picked it up, and she is actually the groomer for Manishi Chiller, who is Miss World, and the second Miss World. She was a groomer for many Bollywood stars, and
Mm.
she picked me somewhere and threw me into this, which I call destiny. And my debut was in Sydney, Australia. So that's
Wow.
how I started my journey. It just flow. I just went with the flow. I didn't know what was happening.
And you followed your passion. That is incredible. And how it started from your ancestry, your grandmother, then your mother, and it's been something that's in your blood. That's such an incredible story. So, you are obviously an entrepreneur and very passionate about women's empowerment. Tell us a little bit about your entrepreneurship journey.
Uh, it was not very easy, Rita, to become an entrepreneur and to be passionate towards that business.
Mm.
Passion is something that is within you and you
Yeah.
want to keep going, and it never ends. It
Yes.
is just, the sky is not a limit for your own passion. You just want to keep going. You don't know where, but wherever the passion leads you, you go. Entrepreneurship is very controlled
Mm.
with boundaries, with numbers, where I myself, fall in a lot of times a clash between myself, my passion, and my entrepreneurship. Which one should I give importance to? I
Yeah.
fall in this trap quite a few times. I don't know about the other people, but I have discovered myself into falling into this kind of um, I would say, a trap within myself. But I worked on it, and I said, like, my passion goes first. That
Mm.
is where it's all started, and that is where it will go. So
Mm.
entrepreneurship is my numbers, my number of hours I do, number of
Yeah.
business I create, number of employments I create. That's
Wow.
key for entrepreneurship. Now, the team that I have back in Delhi, my factory,
Mm.
is very extremely strong team. Very
Mm.
proud of my team there, with karigars, with the finest hand embroidery work, my tailors, all of my assistants. And if you take me to the weaves, that's a different story. Like, my weaves is the biggest part, the backbone of Tara Bhuyan couture is my
Mm.
weaves. Without them, we are nothing. There is no Tara Bhuyan couture, because
Mm.
weaves is where it comes from, the rural villages of Assam, from
Right.
Pualasi to everywhere in Assam. I try, I like different kinds of weaves. So that is itself is a big story. Weave is my main story.
I love that. So now going on to your weaves, talk to us a bit about the story behind the weaves.
Story behind the weaves itself was a big challenge for me.
Mm.
We had this long years, age-old tradition since 15th century from the Ahom kingdom, where our motifs were created, our hinkap motifs, different kinds of motifs were created in those times by hand weavers. And
Mm.
this is a legacy, such a rich legacy that we have within Assam. And it's so easy to carry forward because every research was done, everything was done. We just have to keep moving forward, making it more modern, making it, tradition, keeping the tradition alive, and giving the modern look. So this was something very easy to pick on, but was challenging as when it comes to your own weavers, because then you become a perfectionist. Then you want the weavers to give you the best product to the world.
Mm.
And as I started, as my company name, the Tarabuya Couture name, started growing, I wanted to be more and more and more perfect. I wanted to make my weavers professional so
Mm.
that they learn something lifelong.
Right.
And these weavers, I had to stay for a couple of months in the villages. And
Wow.
of course, near Kualkusi also. It's about 15 miles from not even 15 miles, about 10 miles from Kualkusi. I have a small cluster of women weavers there who still works for me, and they have been working for a long time with me, last 6 years. Uh, what I can say is the initial time was hard, but
Mm.
now they are improving so much that these weaves and these silks are compared to none other than any silks in the world. I can tell you that much. The
Yes.
richness, the finish, everything. And the
Mm.
best part is we are a 100% sustainable company.
Mhm.
Uh, so much so that we don't use electricity
Yeah.
while weaving, because our weavers are all, hand woven. We don't need electricity. They can also do with the kerosene lamp if they don't have, because some of the villages don't get electricity, especially the remote rural ones. They always do not have electricity because of I don't know, electricity load or something. So anyways, they have these kerosene lamps and they keep weaving. You can't stop them, whether COVID, whether no electricity, you can't stop them. They
The
keep
power.
going. Their feet and their hands keep going all the time, and that's the beauty. That's the beauty of this company. That's the beauty of
Mm.
Tarabia Couture. That thank God that I have this rich silk behind me.
That's incredible. Were there any challenges that you had initially? You mentioned it was tough getting, training the weavers, getting there and staying in the villages. Could you share any challenges you had initially when you started?
Yes, lots of challenges. First of all, being a woman was a big challenge.
Mm.
I know it is gender equality. I believe in that, but we always face a little more problem, a little more problem. I would say challenges
Mm.
than any man, because our it comes to, again, safety issues.
Mm.
Like, you have to be out of that village at a certain time, otherwise you have to stay back in that village. It's not very safe to come on the roads. I mean, these are, but I have
Mm.
seen people walking out at odd hours, but why not me? Those were, because I like to work late, I like to eat with them, I like to eat their food. So it's part of me, that is part of them, which is in me still now. But those that was a safety was a big challenge. I
Yeah.
was asked to come out at a certain time, and I was asked to be outside into the city limits, within
Yeah.
city limits at a certain time. I mean, these were big challenges because I couldn't finish my work on time. That means I have to leave when it's daytime.
Mm.
So I couldn't finish my everyday work. Otherwise, I have to stay with them in the villages, which was not
Mm.
possible for me. So I had to rent a house, which is a little closer to the city and yet closer to the village, but yet I
Mm.
have to be out every time. So, and the second thing is getting skilled workers was a huge challenge. I'm
Mm.
still facing that challenge because what happens is these weavers, they are not paid very well. So
Mm.
what they did is these extremely fine skilled workers, they go for jobs which are paying from outside, like, clerical job or courier company job. I don't want to name companies here, but salesperson job, whereas they are so good at what they are doing.
Yeah.
They're so finely skilled labor, workers. So I could manage a few of them, but it was very difficult. I had to train. I do
Mm.
not know much about weaves, but I saw a lot of weaving in my aunt's unit when I was
Yeah.
very young. So I had a fair idea. And a lot of people helped me. The master weaver helped me. I was training as I was, training them. I was also getting trained. That was the pleasure of doing it. But yes, getting skilled workers and skilled weavers are extremely challenging. Uh, and that is a reason why I pay these weavers directly. There is no middleman involved, what I pay to them. So they get a solid part of that income without anybody in between. And that is
Mm.
why people, more and more weavers wants to join, because the word has spread that, okay, you are earning more than what I am, working hard the whole day, and I don't like what I'm doing under the sun. I would rather be in my home and have my own financial independence.
Right.
Thirdly, women
Mm.
weavers. That was
Mm.
itself a challenge, and I will, if you ask me a question on women weavers, I would rather
Yes.
tend to that. Yeah, it's a big
I
struggle.
was going to ask you because that's very empowering what you just shared, but specifically financial freedom. That's been a big part of your journey and what you do. And I know women weavers is a specific population that you've been working with and financial freedom. So please share something about that.
Sure. Rita, financial freedom, who doesn't need? Men, women, everybody needs in this world, right?
Mm.
So, but sometimes it's very easy in a concept base, like in North America, financial freedom is 55. That's a magic number. That's what I used to use for my clients. And I used to work hard for my clients to become financially independent. That's my goal, right? That as an investment banker, as a banker, I want my
Right.
clients to be happy and free at 55. But that is not, that's very, back home, it's not the same,
Mm.
especially among the rural people. It is not at all the same. Rural women, I would definitely say, even men, but rural women specifically, who are not allowed to work outside of
Right.
their village, of their, so many constraints. Financial freedom for them is every day.
Mm.
That is the difference of a financial freedom at 55 and financial freedom every day. Even to get a meal is a financial freedom for them. So I've worked with a few women uh, who are um, who are very I do not want to go into details of the story, but yes, they are abused widows, a few of them. But I think from the weaving that they do, and they have always been good at, and they have been helping me throughout, they have been training me actually quite a bit on the weaving.
Mm.
They are earning their meal every day. They are having a financial freedom every day. So that's why I always request when it's Tara Bhuyan Couture, it is the couture that they make. It's
Mm.
from their looms, their magical hands. Without
Yeah.
those magical hands and the happiness, actually, you can see whatever I'm wearing today is a beautiful piece of Mekhla Chadar.
Absolutely stunning. Yes.
I'm specifically wearing this because it's by one of my first women weaver who
Wow.
got in financial independence for everyday living, for everyday meal, even to talk with each other, even to share a home with other women.
Yeah.
This itself, and this is where happiness comes from. This is where their
Mm.
happiness is poured into, and it is a financial freedom for them and a financial freedom for me. It's kind of a
Mm.
chain reaction. If they don't have financial freedom, how will Tara Bhuya Couture have financial freedom? And
Right.
how will Tara Bhuya have financial freedom? All
Mm.
goes round.
Absolutely. And to your point, it's all about, working with women and empowering the voices that you've been doing for a long time now. And in fact, you're affiliated with other empowering women around India and have recently, a little birdie told me, become affiliated with the royal family. So I would love to just ask you a little bit about that, if you could share with our audience today.
Sure, Rita. Even that, in fact, as I say, I do not know where I keep going. It's just I take wherever life takes me, as long as
Mm.
I'm into this passion of craft and the cause for the craft. I will keep going. I will keep improving Tarabuya Couture, and I'll still present Assam weaves. Yes, I lately, very recently, actually, I'm the cause and craft protagonist for Royal Fables, which is the founder of which is Princess Diya Kumari, the most popular Princess Diya Kumari of Jaipur. She is the founder, and I'm very happy to see my Tarabuya Couture name and the Assam weaves, more than the Tarabuya Couture, the Assamese weavers' names there.
Wow.
Assamese weaves and textiles and legacy that we This is a cause that's I won't throw out everything today. There is something exciting coming up. I'm not only working with Princess Dia Kumari, the whole team of Maharanis and the royal family legacies, in order to keep them alive. And they do so much for, now the Princess Dia Kumari does so much for her own state, which is Rajasthan.
Right.
She, even during the times of COVID, she has given 200 meals a night. If I'm not, I might be wrong on the figures, but not going into too much details, she feeds them dinner every night. In fact, she converted a part of the living room of that palace into a kitchen where soups and dinners are served to 200 or some odd women, some very big, large number of women every night. So even during COVID times. So these are causes, and there is some good products which are coming out from all these legacies, including mine, including from Assam. And those will be extremely beautiful products of the different royal families.
Wow.
Royal families of Gujarat, the Baroda, royal family of, she's herself is a textile protagonist, royal family of everywhere. I mean, you name it. So these products will be very exciting, not throwing out too much of that,
The suspense.
the suspense and the exciting part of the whole thing coming up. Maybe in future, if I have something with you, I will show you more products of what is going to come up. But
Absolutely.
this will be all over North America, all over globally.
Amazing.
And it's a fundraising, complete 100% fundraising.
Well, can't wait to see.
Family.
We'll watch the space and see what happens.
Yes, we are coming up very soon, and the catalogs are out. I'll be soon should be able to share it with you.
Fantastic. Can't wait for that. So I know, Dora, personally, that you work around the clock. You do a lot all the time. What do you do to relax? When do you relax?
I'm always relaxing. I never feel that I'm working. Although I have two daughters and I have my husband, they are very supportive towards me. They always say, "Mommy, you're working all the time. You're either on the phone or the laptop." But and then I said, "Did I? Was I working?" Like, I never feel that I work, because that's where the passion lies. I think you never feel that you work. I used to think, like, people used to lie. I think, like, they never feel how they work. But no, that's so true. That is something that I can say today, that not a single day since 2018, since I created the brand, I never felt that I worked a single day. And I feel like, when am I going to do serious work? So it's a relaxation for me. Yes, I play a lot with both my daughters. I play board games. I play nowadays those video games and tablet games. I That's my relaxation with them, especially now with summer vacation on here in Canada. Uh, we are having a lot of games, and we go out hiking. I love hiking. I do my 10K steps almost every day, I would say. Yes. I try to keep my mind active, my physical activity, and of course, my family. I try to give them time as much as possible, especially during these COVID times. I didn't travel anywhere, so it gave us a very good bonding time together. So especially with both my daughters, I think they were online school and I was home working from home. So I think we learned about each other a lot. We try to guide them, and things. It's normal life every
It's
day.
normal life, but
Normal
that's it.
life every day. But yes, I have 16 to 18 hours of job. My work is 16 to 18 hours minimum.
Wow, and you're following your passion. So I think that's the very important thing there. Before we let you go, what advice would you give to any young girls or young women watching today that would want to follow in your footsteps?
Again and again, I would say there are two things here. One is I'm an entrepreneur now. I left a cushy job of 20 plus years. And I think risk is a big factor, but not taking any risk. Risk on your passion, believing in your passion, I think is big one. And along with that, your business mind always works the best to become a successful brand, or to become a successful entrepreneur, I would say. And more than anything, the line that I would say is success and risk goes together. The biggest risk in life, I would say, is not taking any risk.
Mm.
And success goes hand in hand. And if it's calculated risk and you follow your passion deeply and be truthful to yourself every single day, that's where you
Mm.
come from. That's where your integrity lies. I think no one can stop that person from going.
Amazing. Amazing.
Thank you so much, Rita, and thank you, Uma. I'm looking forward for the interview recording, and definitely, Rita, especially to you, it has been a very exciting. I'm very glad I was really myself in this interview. What a wonderful host, and what a beautiful woman you are yourself, and
Sweet.
lovely questions that you have asked. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Daraba. And thank you so much for sharing your inspiring journey with us today. And to you, our viewers, for joining us. We want you all to embrace that inner goddess or go getting. We want you to be bold, be you, be Uma.